Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A special thank you to Nikki Hoffman and Paige Duncan of your UCCS softball team for joining us here on the Lions Den this evening. Really appreciate them spending their time with us. But now, wholesome David Olson coming in to run things.
Yes, I am.
We got some stuff to talk about, my friend. We had quite a bit of action this past weekend. I'm going to be honest with you, though. Some of those names that you told me a week ago that we should be talking about, I don't know if we're going to talk about them. And then we're also going to talk about a few names who you did not tell me we were going to talk about, which is good and bad.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Okay. Let's talk. No,
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good things happening on both the men's and the women's side.
Yeah.
We started the show off by talking about Chantel Fondren. She is just dominating this season all the way around.
Yes, she is. She has been absolutely crushing since she's been at UCCS. Obviously, very, very excited just to even watch it. Really, big weekend between both the men and the women. They were out in San Francisco for the weekend.
San Fran.
So not a bad place to spend a little bit of time.
I'm starting to rethink things. You know, I mentioned I wanted to be part of the golf team for all their trips. But
yeah.
the team is going to some pretty cool places.
And
San
they're going to California probably a couple more times too. So I think.
Is it too late to join the team?
I think if you tried out, I mean,
They're
you'd
pretty
probably
good,
have a
though.
shot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your mile
you think
time
if
is.
I do try out, I have a chance? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know. You talk big game, MJ. So maybe you should try
I
out.
know.
Yeah. So let's get into some details. Obviously, Chantel Fondren did really, really well over the weekend. Got a provisional qualifying time in the 5K. So obviously,
good?
that's definitely good.
That's the goal, right?
You have to run. Yes, you do have to run a provisional time in order to make it to nationals. So as you can see right there, she is currently third in the RMAC. Which is, again, RMAC is pretty deep, so that is a big deal. Also, the third fastest time in program history.
Ever
at UCCS, yeah, so 17:16, obviously, very solid performance by her. But that was not her only event of the weekend. She was also in the mile. So she broke 5 in the mile, went 4:59.
Under 5 minutes.
Under 5 minutes in the mile, and that converts down to 4:37 for the 1500.
Time?
Well, they were at sea level, so there wasn't really an adjustment.
I see, okay.
But they only run the 1500, but for some reason there was a mile at this invitational. So they just took some time off to I don't know, kind of compensate for that.
Well, I'm sure she's not complaining.
No. Again, she went sub 5, so that is definitely not bad. She was within 3.5 seconds of provisionally qualifying for that. Also currently the first time in the conference. Fastest time in the conference in the 1500.
She's the fastest runner in the Rocky Mountain Athletics Conference.
As of right now, at this point in the season, she has the fastest 1500 time in the RMAC. Yeah,
that's pretty solid.
Not a bad weekend, and that's just one runner. We have a lot to talk about. I could probably talk the rest of the show, but you'll probably have to cut me off. We had quite a few girls in the 5K. So. Again, it's just we had runners all over the place. As you can see right here, people all over. Chantel is
We're
third.
Natalie's that graphic
third. Exactly.
Right there. Now Lions represent.
I actually came prepared. I counted. We have 4 of the top 10 times in the conference in the women's 5K. So
it does make sense, right? Because mountain lions roam in packs, and there's
it's a pretty solid 5K pack. So they are doing pretty well. A couple more girls before I move on to the men. Molly Klotz was in the 800.
She was on the show too, was she?
Yeah, Molly Klotz. Yeah. And so she's been doing really well since she's been here. Ran 2:14:34, which is the third fastest time in UCCS program history.
Ever.
So there were multiple performances that were the best that UCCS has ever seen on the women's side.
Wow.
She was about a second away from getting that Provo, which is just short for provisional qualifying time. I'm saying it so much. I'm just gonna start calling it a Provo.
Oh, that makes sense.
Also, a couple other girls in the 800. So you had Chelsea Martis, who was on the show at one point. She ran about 2:17. 1 second back from her, Melanie Depp. She was
also on the show.
Yeah, she ran 2:18.66, and I do have to say that was her first outdoor 800 since 2014. So obviously, I'm really excited just to see her back. I think that's a big deal.
Do you expect that time to go down once she gets back into the groove?
I would say so. Yeah, it's still pretty early in the season, so I think, and I know she was slightly disappointed with it, but she has a couple more seconds in her, so I think she'll be getting that down quite a bit. Again, still a good performance. Melanie Depp was also in the 1500, so she led a pretty decent group of UCCS women in that, ran 4:48. Mara Guzman, we've also had on the show. Yeah, she did pretty well, 4:49 in the 1500. Mackenzie Urban, who was almost on the show, I guess that counts for something. She was about
half of the
bump. Half the bump. I mean, so she committed but didn't really come out. So she ran about a 4:50 or so. Again, pretty good. Sam Bauer. Sam Bauer's in the 3K steeple, so that was her first race of the season. A few more girls were at CSU Pueblo. So you had a few sprinters, Alicia Lawrence, Asia Bastian, and then Haley Gillen ran combos of about the 100 and the 200. So overall, big weekend for the UCCS women. Coming up next, they will be at the Colorado Invitational at CU Boulder.
Is that for sure this time? Because last time they were going to go to Boulder.
Last time it did not work out because of snow. The way the weather's been lately, I think it'll be all right.
Get your Matt Meister on for a minute. Are we going to be able to get this event in? What's the snow forecast looking like?
We will find out in the next couple days. I mean, Colorado weather is kind of all over the place.
Well, we bring you in to run things, so we need you to run this and make sure that the snow doesn't.
I know. I might not be in charge of that, but I will put in a good word.
No javelin or discus results to identify?
No. Well, I mean, Chantel did not do the long jump this weekend.
No long jump this week?
Which was slightly disappointing.
Holly
Holmes did not run. Holly Holmes did not throw the javelin either. So
were they disappointed, though? Those aren't their
I think
events.
Everyone was slightly disappointed.
I'm not that disappointed. I'd like to see them compete in their events and dominate like we saw them do this past weekend.
I would like to see that as well. So before we run out of time, on the men's side, again, really good weekend for them. Like I said last week, I got to talk about David Camayo.
You did say we would talk about him, so that is an accurate prediction.
We have been talking about him, and I think for pretty good reason. So he ran 5K this weekend in 14:40, which is currently, as you can see, second in the conference, which, I mean, obviously a big deal. Third fastest time in UCCS history. Ever. And he...
How come they keep getting third? This is the third time you said the third
I
best.
guess it's just a good number. Yeah. I don't really know.
I just point things out when I hear them.
And he was about 3 seconds away from getting that Provo. So lots of threes. Yeah. That being said, there are a huge group of people in the 5K. A lot of freshmen that
How many, like 3 of them?
Yeah, I think. Well. Yeah, 3 of them. So those 3 were Willie Moore, Chad Glover, and Ben Patzer. They all went sub-16 in the 5K, which for a freshman, especially since that was their first ever 5K on a track, very, very impressive.
So hats off to the freshmen?
You will be hearing those names in the future. Willie Moore, Chad Glover, Ben Patzer. I think if they keep progressing, I think they're going to do really, really well. Another couple guys in the 5K, you had Will Meekum, Seth Polich, and Nick Baca. All those guys were sub-16, so that's pretty good. Really impressive performance from the weekend. Corey Brown went sub-15 in the 5K. I think that was his 3rd race of the year. Yeah, so he went 14:56.
Who could have guessed that?
7th in the RMAC. Again, just considering what he's gone through the last couple of years as far as injuries and whatnot, he's back. He's doing a good job. I'm just excited to see him back out there getting after it. Incredible runner. I have nothing but respect for Corey Brown. Kyle McCloskey had a good 1500, 3:54. He was about 3 seconds away from getting that Provo, and he is currently, to kind of break the streak, he is 4th in UCCS program history. I know we kind of want that 3rd, but we will the top 5. I guess we'll take it.
We had such a theme going.
Yeah, we did. And then I ended up talking to Coach Mish before coming onto the show tonight.
Oh,
he just had nothing but good things to say.
You going above and beyond.
I know. That's kind of my specialty.
That's what you get right here on the Lions Den, above and beyond.
Yeah, exactly. So he just said there were a lot of positives from the weekend.
At least 3.
He's at least 3. He's excited about the freshmen.
All 3 of them.
Overall, very good beginning to the outdoor track season.
Sounds promising. So you said we're going to Boulder next.
They are going to Boulder next. After that, they will have a little bit of a training block, and then I think the next big race that they're going to focus on is out in San Diego.
Oh.
Yeah. So they will.
All right, I'm going to try out this weekend.
You definitely should. I might go out and take some pictures of them. So we'll see.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, prediction time, Mr. Wholesome David Olson.
Ooh.
I need some names. What are we going to talk about?
Let's talk about Corey Brown. I think he is doing
for the 3rd consecutive week. We'll talk about.
We will talk about. He's on my mind quite a bit, so I think he's going to do really well if he runs the 5K again. If he could knock a couple seconds off that time, I think that would be fantastic. Yeah, sure.
That would be great.
Whatever. If he knocks some time off, I'm not going to complain. And then on the women's side,
Chantel Fondren. Let me take a guess.
Yeah, we'll probably be talking about Chantel.
We got to bring her on the show again. You know,
we should. If we could have track and cross country people on one more time, I think that'd be appropriate.
I think so too. It'd be her 3rd time on the show. It seems fitting.
Let's
bring her on.
It's the theme.
Yeah.
All right. That is about all I have.
That's all you got?
Yep.
Drop mic or gently set it down, as I know you like to do because you're wholesome, David Olson. All right, that's what you need to know for your track scene on the women's and the men's side. They're going to be in action up in Boulder, and we'll have all those results for you in a week from today right here on the Lions Den. Coming up next, we got to talk a little bit about men's golf. Just wrapped up a tournament just hours ago, so we're going to give you the fresh scoop right off of the news wire coming at you right after this right here on the Lions Den.
I finally found the healthcare I've been looking for. It's the UCCS Health Circle Primary Care Clinic across from University Village on North Nevada Avenue. The nurse practitioner managed clinic is a perfect fit. I have longer appointments so I don't feel rushed. And we've created a personal health plan that's really working for me. UCCS Health Circle is more than a provider. They're my new healthcare partner.